Priyanka Raut. Welcome to our podcast series Blazeclan Echo, where we will be talking about new technical trends. In this episode, we are going to talk about Cloud Smart versus Cloud First, and we are going to listen to our experts Kaushik, Mohan and Ajit Inamdar. So let's get started.
Hello everyone, this is Ajit. So I have about 12 years of experience in the IT industry across multiple domains. I have been associated with Blazeclan's last 6 years. My primary responsibilities are DevSecOps and platform engineering.
Thanks for joining in. My name is Kaushik. Been with Blazeclan since the start of my career, and now with them for 12 years. And I'm based out of Malaysia, leading sales for the region.
Thanks Kaushik for your introduction. So what according to you is Cloud First?
So, for the whole notion, today's discussion as we're going to have between Cloud First and, Cloud Smart, the idea is, what started off as a industry norm and what is it now, right? So Cloud First, to your question, what Cloud First is, something which started around 2015-16, close to a decade ago, when cloud adoption started off, and the bigger CSPs of the world started with the notion, you need to go all in, adopt cloud as much as possible, because that is the holy gates and holy heavens of doing everything in the IT industry. So the notion that started off with Cloud First was, if you're on-prem, if you're in a co-location or any other place, that's not the best place. There was a saying that good friends don't advise their friends to build data centers, but to adopt cloud, which started off the notion, which started off the journey where people went all in, either into AWS or GCP or Azure or any other platforms that are there. And eventually that became that any new workloads, any existing workloads, everything is Cloud First. And that is what was the notion that started off about 9 years ago.
Okay, you are mentioning that it was a notion. So
Yeah.
What do you think is the current scenario?
That notion, again, it took time to evolve. It took time from public cloud being available since 2006, when actually AWS started it off, making it as a public IT services. It took a good 10 years to come to that thought process of going all in on cloud,
Right.
Maturity. And since then, now we are again at a decades point, where now the next point which is there is being cloud smart. Right? That notion has changed overall. So because when it came to, I think, adoption of Cloud First, all we did was the CIOs and the head of the team, they all started thinking about, okay, let's go in, adopt cloud, move everything. But it also took the technical debt along with it. There was no modernization, right? The term modernization also you started hearing only when it came in 2018, 19,
Right.
4 years down the line, halfway through. And that's when you heard about modernization along with migration. So the notion was move all in. And when you're doing that, you took in the technical debt. There were other issues where eventually the selling point was, if you adopt cloud, it will be cost efficient.
Okay.
But if it's not architected well and not done well, we eventually started hearing that, it is not being cost efficient, because they did apple to apple migration, and that's not the way you have to do it. It has to be cloud native.
Right.
Right.
So you mentioned about Cloud Smart. Talking about Cloud First and Cloud Smart. So what, according to you, is Cloud Smart? So how do you define what is a Cloud Smart strategy?
So, from your experience yourself working with FSI customers and everything, you have seen that not all customers can go in all cloud, right? They have compliance issues. They have issues with respect to their own regulatories and other aspects that impact from adopting cloud full-fledged, 100%. Some digital companies who have that liberty have gone in and made most of it, right? They are being cloud smart for their fit. But at the same time, one size fits all doesn't happen in this scenario, right? The bigger FSIs have compliance requirements. The bigger maybe manufacturing companies and others have other requirements that need to be closer to their environment. So being cloud smart is thinking, evaluating, and not just thinking all cloud. It has to be a mix of cloud, edge, solutioning, on-prem solution if required, and various other aspects. So that has been cloud smart because every environment is different, be it the IT ecosystem, the workspace, the people around it, and all of that. So that's the way it is. So that
Right.
is cloud smart being unique IT solution for yourself.
Right. You mentioned about FSI. So I have been working with FSI for the
Right.
last 3 years. So what I can say is initially companies started adopting cloud quite rapidly, but after a certain point of time, they understood that they have to be smart with their decisions.
Right.
So that's where cloud smart comes into picture.
Right.
So as of now, I'm working with multiple banks in India. So they do not have a cloud first strategy as such, but they have a mix of on-prem solutions as well as cloud solutions. Wherever they can go to cloud solutions, they have tried to migrate. And
Right.
wherever they see that there is still value in on-premises, they are still with on-premises. So that point that you mentioned is quite valid.
That's right.
Yeah, right.
So, because to that point, because there are multiple things that you have to take into consideration, right? One is the economics of it, optimization of cost, optimization of what fits well from a technology standpoint. So, there might be cases where you are migrating because there is an end of life product, right? It makes sense when you're migrating, go cloud native, because that when you architect well, it will be cost optimized, highly resilient, highly available, scalability is there, and all of that.
Right.
So making those decisions are there. But when you have some product which is from a perspective, FSI perspective, core banking systems or something which now are evolving, right? With
Right.
time are evolving to be cloud ready, but still there are some components which need to be there. So those things have to be thought through and made available.
Yeah, and there are few regulations as well. So if there are few regulations which are not allowing core systems to go on
Right.
entirely on cloud. So that is also one key aspect of cloud smart versus cloud first strategy.
Yeah.
So what do you think, according to you, are you following? Is it cloud smart or cloud first?
In the journey on 12 years being an architect and now doing sales, I think the journey has been very evolving for myself as well. So when we started off, we said, go, we are a born in the cloud partner ourselves, like Blazeclan's a born in the cloud partner. And we've always said, we should go all in. Let's do that. But eventually, with the notion, when we saw there are pros and cons to each of it, when we evaluated, even before the market realized, because the sheer scale we are operating in with multiple customers globally, the lesson we learned was it is not just migrate, but it is modernize while you migrate. Right? So now, today, if you ask me, we would say be cloud smart.
Okay.
Because it is very, very essential for every customer, because no one wants to migrate, spend money to migrate, and then spend money to modernize again. Right? No one has a time, no one has the money to customer to do that. And that's the reason I think very critical when you're doing your assessment and discovery and all of these things. And before you do go into your pilot, it is important that you think about modernizing it and becoming cloud smart and doing it, and understand where what fits in, and then you go into that. Yeah.
Okay. So you mentioned about we being cloud smart, but as you mentioned earlier that we are born in a cloud company. So ideally we should promote cloud first, but what do you think is the right way forward?
So it's not about what we promote things, right? For us, it is customer satisfaction. So whatever customer needs is what you're going to do. If the customer is not needing it, so customers already is intelligent enough now. The enterprises are educated enough about cloud solutions where they know that they need to modernize along doing it, and also think about the right fit. And all cloud in or not doing multi-cloud will not help. Right? So the cloud smart, which I've not touched upon earlier, the cloud smart, it also means you need to be thinking about multi-cloud solutions, maybe wherever it is required.
Right.
Thinking about the ROI, the pros and cons of having multiple clouds, and so on and so forth. So that is also a picture to be taken into consideration. And to your point, we have to be customer obsessed as one of our values, and as a core principle, we need to ensure we are thinking about customer success, and customer success is being cloud smart.
Yeah. So Kaushik, we spoke about cloud first versus cloud smart. So how do you think this contributes to business success?
So, specifically, let me talk about how Cloud Smart contributes to business success. And I think we initially touched upon few points already, but just to deep dive and double click into it, right?
Right.
So, Cloud Smart, from a business standpoint, as I said, is very critical from a technology. All of the companies that we are working with and anything that we see around our ecosystem is all technology enabled, right? Technology enabled solutions is what is coming to us in various forms in our day-to-day operations. When all the companies that are enterprises or farmers or anyone using this technology as a backbone, it is critical that it is resilient, robust, and doing that. And Cloud Smart, when you do it, has taken into all of these things into the consideration, be it from the resiliency, be it from the continuity of the business continuity, be it from the economics part of it. As a business, you're running a business to be profitable, and you're using technology to enhance your business, right? So all of that is going to go into the picture, and that is where being cloud smart will enable you from a business success standpoint. Now, for an example, many of the enterprises, if and when they are, as they grow, they are in the limelight and they want to ensure that, you know, the best of solutions are in place. It's secure enough, highly resilient, highly available. And if you are not cloud smart about it, you're prone to many attacks and prone to many other impacts that will happen with adoption. So that is how it helps in business success when it comes to security, right? When it comes to cost efficiency, as I already touched upon, choosing the right solution will help you optimize the cost from your entire tech ecosystem. And the other things, if I take a cue from the well-architected pillars that are there, right? We have already spoken about operational excellence. We have already spoken about cost optimization. Now, if you see from performances, if you see from any other pillars that are there, right? All of that is being catered to when you're being cloud smart. And that overall adds value to you as a business to be successful and to run in a profitable way.
So moving forward, what do you think are the benefits of Cloud Smart versus Cloud First?
I think clearly Cloud First will have its own issues when you go in, right? As we spoke about, going into it, going all in, what we have seen. Let me talk about the cons of what we have seen going Cloud First, where people have adopted it, then they're realizing to modernize it. When they're modernizing the applications or the entire workload, they're spending time on it, and then they see other issues, which when they see, after migration, they are not operationally efficient. The cost is even higher than on-prem, and that loses the entire plot of why they have to be cloud native. It's restricting the innovation rather than giving them catapulting them to success. So that is where I think that's a clear benefit of thing. So rather than calling it a benefit of adopting cloud smart, it is about the issues of being cloud first, and that's the way I look at it. That's my opinion.
Yeah, so as you mentioned about certain limitations of Cloud First, so I remember many of our customers were very much on Cloud First strategy, but eventually they had to change their strategy to Cloud Smart, and they kind of had heavy losses. They lost a lot of money. So that is where we have to think
be strategic about it.
Right. Yeah, so Kaushik, we spoke a lot about Cloud First versus Cloud Smart, and clearly we see that Cloud Smart is the way ahead to go for your cloud transformation journey.
Yeah.
But I wanted to understand which companies adopted Cloud First, and it worked for them. So, any idea on that?
Sure. I think for Cloud First, whoever did Cloud First, they were the early adopters of cloud, right? They started their cloud journey a decade ago. And they were the first ones who adopted the cloud first because that was what was there. And they adopted it and they evolved with time. Especially in the cloud journey, when you're adopting that, it's not just about technology. It's also about people adopting to it. Right? So the success for those members or those enterprises or startups and others who adopted cloud first or earlier, and then because that was only notion where cloud first was a thing, they adopted that, they evolved with it, and they grew with it right? And then they're now modernizing, and of course the new workloads. So they are the ones who actually benefited from it. We have worked with a lot of mid enterprises and the tech fintechs and others who have actually adopted that and are then riding that wave. So along with technology, the people, uh, and not just the technical team, it's about the business, the enablement groups, the finance team, everyone have adopted about how to adopt cloud as a solution and then taking that forward because it impacts each one of them in this particular thing. So that's the reason, that's one that I see that they are the ones who have benefited because they were early adopters and and they've evolved with it and now are cloud smart as well.
Right. So we spoke a lot about enterprise segments, right? So we understand that enterprise segment has heavy on-premises workload, but there are few companies out there who do not have any footprint on-premises. On-premises.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, they can have a cloud-first strategy, right? Instead of going hybrid on-premises and maybe they can directly adopt cloud first, right?
No, I would negate to that point, right? For them, now there are lessons learned from other enterprises. People have gone through and understand, the kind of issues that other people have done. A lot of things have matured, right? You have a lot of artifacts, you have a lot of learnings from what has happened in the past. And I am certain that now with the enterprises, they would be going ahead with a cloud smart strategy because of these learnings. It's all about how are you going to bring the ROI out of this.
So Kaushik, to conclude on our discussion, so what do you think should be the strategy for our customers?
So from a cloud approach, as a closing thought, what I would say is all enterprises, all SMBs or mid-market starting off tech, take the learnings from the previous customers who have adopted it about cloud adoption overall, cloud first or not, cloud smart, the way ahead. Make use of the available resources that are there. There are a lot of case studies and other things that are available on with various CSPs. The internet is filled with all this information. Talk to your CSPs, get recommendation from them about partners. If you need some partners to go along with you in this digital transformation journey, talk to them. They have partners with competencies who have been certified, done volumes of work, both quantity and quality, and you can take that input from them and go ahead with your journey to augment your entire thing, or talk to other. There are various community as well where you can reach out and build that. So it is very critical that you take informed decision before you go into this. Think about all the various things that has happened with your size, with your domain and industry that you're in, and then go ahead. As a closing thought, if you would ask, I would say think cloud smart and go ahead. But if you're already thinking about cloud, you're one step ahead of the rest because cloud is a way where you will be able to innovate quickly, innovate cheaply, and as the saying goes, fail fast, fail cheap, right? As you're enterprising it, you will be able to innovate quickly, do your R&D better in a cheaper way if you're doing on cloud. So if you're thinking about cloud, you're one step ahead. Think cloud smart and then go ahead.
Thank you, Kaushik, for your time. It was a nice discussion with you. Thank you.
Thank you for joining in.
Thank you.
Hope you all enjoyed this podcast. Do follow Blazeclan Technologies on Instagram and on LinkedIn. Thank you for watching.